What if you did everything right, but it still feels wrong? You've built the perfect career, the perfect family, the perfect life. You have the success you always chased. So why, in the quiet moments, do you feel an emptiness you can't quite explain? Welcome to the Inner Compass, your guide to navigating life's most challenging questions. Today, we're starting a new journey, one that takes us to the crossroads of midlife, where we'll learn that the key to finding peace isn't about adding anything to your life, but about letting go. Our story begins with Mark, a man in his mid-50s who seemed to have it all. Mark was a walking, talking portrait of success. He was the founder of a thriving tech company, a respected leader, and a self-made man who had built everything from the ground up. He had a beautiful house, two well-adjusted children who were excelling in their own careers, and a life that was the envy of his peers. But behind the expensive suits and the confident smile, Mark was carrying a weight no one could see. Every night he would toss and turn, his mind racing with worries about market trends, a new competitor, or a looming deadline. The burden of being the pillar for his family and his company was eating away at him. He felt an immense sense of isolation, a feeling that no one truly understood the pressure he was under. His conversations with his kids were cordial, but lacked true connection. He found himself asking, I did all of this for them, for everyone to be comfortable. So why? Why am I not happy? His body began to send him clear signals he couldn't ignore. The persistent back pain, the high blood pressure, the inability to sleep. He knew something was wrong, but he kept pushing forward, convinced that if he just worked a little harder, held on a little tighter, the peace he longed for would magically appear on the horizon. It took a medical emergency to finally force him to stop. One morning, on his way to a crucial meeting, a sudden, searing pain shot through his chest. He was rushed to the emergency room, where doctors told him he had suffered a mild heart attack. He was lucky to have made it. This near-death experience became the ultimate wake-up call. It forced him to confront the questions he had been running from his entire life. After being discharged from the hospital, he didn't return to the office right away. Instead, he did something he hadn't done in years. He went for a walk, not for exercise, but just to be with his thoughts in the quiet of a local park. It was there, on a park bench, that he noticed an elderly man. This man was sitting peacefully, his eyes fixed on the leaves fluttering down from a large oak tree. A serene, knowing smile rested on his face. This quiet calm was strangely alluring. He felt drawn to it, so he sat down on the bench next to him. A conversation that would change the course of his life was about to begin. "Hello?" Mark said. "I have to say, I'm jealous of you. You seem so happy and at peace. I have everything, a successful business, a great family, but I feel like I'm carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. I don't know what to do. I'm scared of everything. Scared my business will fail, scared my health will get worse, scared I won't be remembered." The old man, who introduced himself as Master Leo, smiled gently. "The reason you feel so heavy isn't because of what you have, but because of what you're holding on to." He asked Mark to imagine his hands. Imagine your hands are tightly gripping several large stones. One is named success, another is named responsibility, and a third is named expectations. You're holding them all so tightly, and you're even trying to grab the future, an invisible stone, and squeeze it into your hands. When you hold on to everything so tightly, is it any surprise that you feel heavy and in pain? This was the first and most important lesson for anyone entering the second half of life, the art of letting go. Let go? Mark asked, bewildered. How can I? If I let go, my business will collapse. My family will suffer. It feels like giving up, like being a coward. That is the biggest misconception that makes people like you suffer, Master Leo replied. Letting go is not about abandoning your duties. It is about letting go of your attitude toward those duties. He explained the difference between giving up and letting go. Giving up is inaction. It's walking away from a problem and letting everything fall apart. It comes from weariness and despair. Letting go, on the other hand, is doing your best with a sense of detachment from the outcome. It's accepting that we can't control everything in this world. Our duty is to do our part as well as we can. The result, we are ready to accept it as it is. To illustrate, Master Leo told the story of a farmer. A good farmer's duty is to sow the best seeds in the best soil. He waters and tends to the crops regularly. He does what he can control, but he cannot control the weather. He can't command the rain to fall or the sun to shine. If the harvest is good, he rejoices. But if there is a drought and the harvest fails, a wise farmer doesn't complain or grieve. He understands that he did his best. The rest was up to nature, which he cannot control. He lets go of the outcome and prepares to sow the next seeds. Your life is the same, Master Leo continued. Your business is your duty. Manage it with all your wisdom and honesty. But in the end, whether it profits or fails depends on countless external factors you cannot control. The economy, your competitors, a sudden pandemic. Do your best, then let go of the need for a specific result. Mark listened, a new kind of understanding dawning on him. He had spent his entire life trying to control every possible variable, and the exhaustion of that effort was what brought him to the hospital. Your children are your duty, Master Leo said softly. You love and teach them to be good people, but in the end, the path they choose is their own. You can guide them, but you cannot control their lives. And your body is your duty. You take care of it with good food and exercise, but in the end, it will weaken and become ill over time. This is a law of nature that you cannot control. Mark, Master Leo said, looking him in the eye, the art of letting go is learning to separate what you can control from what you cannot control. Then pour all your energy into what you can control, your actions in the present. As for what you can't control, learn to accept it and let it go with a peaceful heart. Mark felt a profound sense of relief. It was as if a heavy load had been lifted from his shoulders. He had spent his whole life clenching his fists, holding on for dear life. Now, for the first time, he felt the possibility of simply opening his hands. He realized that when his hands were no longer clenched in a painful grip, they were free to embrace the simple joys of the present moment. What Mark discovered is that the heaviest burdens we carry are not the things we have, but the things we refuse to let go of. The need to control every outcome, the fear of failure, the weight of other people's expectations. The art of letting go isn't about giving up. It's about taking back control of the only thing you truly can, your own actions and your attitude. It's about giving yourself permission to stop fighting a war you can't win. So, here is your challenge until our next episode. Find one thing you are holding on to too tightly, a worry, a past mistake, a future fear, and practice letting it go. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Maybe it's just letting go of a small frustration in traffic, or a moment of self-criticism. Just for a moment, open your hands and feel the freedom that comes from simply releasing it. Because your journey to peace begins the moment you decide to drop the weight. Join us next time on The Inner Compass as we explore the next step, living fully in the present moment.